Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to tackle a term you hear thrown around all the time in business news, but what does it actually mean? Yep, we're talking about profit margin. All right, let me ask you something. Imagine you see a headline. A company just made $1 billion in sales. I mean, wow, that sounds amazing, right? But is that one single number enough to say that company is a success? Yeah, the short answer is not really. You see that huge, flashy sales number? We also call that revenue. It's just the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't tell you the most important thing. Did the company actually make any money?
And to figure that out, you need to look at this thing called the profit margin. This is the metric that cuts through the noise. It tells you exactly what percentage of all that sales money a company gets to keep after all the bills are paid. It's the real story of a company's health.
Okay, so first things first, what even is profit margin? Let's dig in and find out the real story hiding behind that big sales number.
Here's a super simple way to think about it. If you hear that a company has a 35% profit margin, all that means is that for every single dollar that came in the door from a sale, 35 cents of it was pure profit. The rest, well, it went to pay for stuff. So, to really get this, let's go on a little journey. We're going to follow a single dollar from the moment a customer buys something and see where it all ends up. All right, so our dollar's journey has like 4 main stops. We start with the whole dollar, that's our revenue. Then first thing, we subtract what it costs to physically make the product, and that leaves us with gross profit. After that, we take out all the other costs of doing business, like marketing, and we get our operating profit. And finally, after we pay off any interest on loans and pay our taxes, what's left over is the net profit. That's the famous bottom line. Okay, here we go. We're at the starting line. A customer just paid us, and we have $1 full dollar, 100 shiny cents in our hand. But, right away, that dollar starts to get smaller. We have to pay for the raw materials, the parts, the factory labor, everything that went directly into making that one product. We call that the cost of goods sold. And poof, just like that, our dollar is now only 65 cents. That's our gross profit. Okay, but we're not done yet. Next up, you gotta pay for all the other stuff that keeps the lights on, right? We're talking rent for the main office, salaries for marketing and HR, the advertising budget, R&D. These are all called operating expenses. And once they take their piece, our 65 cents has shrunk down to just 25 cents. And believe it or not, we are still not done. The company has to pay interest on its debt, and of course, Uncle Sam needs his cut in taxes. After every single possible cost is taken out, our original dollar is now just a single dime, 10 cents. That is the net profit. And this perfectly shows the huge difference between revenue and actual profit. So here's the bottom line, literally. While you can learn things from all those steps, the net profit margin is the one everybody really watches. It's the final score, the ultimate report card on how efficient and profitable a company truly is. Okay, so we know what it is, but why should you care? Why is this number so darn important? Let's see how it's actually used in the real world. Well, think of profit margin like a Swiss Army knife. It does different things for different people. If you're running the business, it's like a diagnostic tool. A shrinking margin can tell you that your material costs are too high, or maybe one of your divisions is underperforming. But if you're an investor, it's a report card. You use it to quickly gauge a company's financial health, see how it stacks up against its rivals, and decide if it's a good place to put your money. But hold on, there is a huge catch here, and this is super important. You can't just look at a profit margin in a vacuum. With this number, context is absolutely everything. You see, what's an absolutely amazing margin for one company could be a total disaster for another. It's all about comparing apples to apples, not apples to oranges. I mean, just look at this. It's a perfect example. You've got tech giants like Microsoft and Alphabet who regularly have these fat, high double-digit profit margins. Then you've got massive retailers like Walmart and Target who survive on razor-thin single-digit margins. Now, this doesn't mean Walmart's a bad business, not at all. It just means they're playing a completely different game. And this chart just makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? That tech bar is just soaring. And it makes sense when you think about it. A company like Microsoft can spend $1 billion developing software, but then it costs almost nothing to sell the millionth copy. A retailer like Walmart, though, they have to buy every single can of soup they sell. They make money on volume, just a tiny bit of profit on a massive number of sales. So you can kind of start to see a pattern here, right? You've got your high-margin industries, think software, fancy luxury brands, or drug companies with patents.
Then you have low-margin industries like grocery stores, trucking companies, and car manufacturers, where competition is fierce and costs are high.
All right, let's wrap this up. If you're going to remember just a few key things about profit margin from all this, what should they be?
Here's your cheat sheet. Number 1, it's simply the sense of profit made on each dollar of sales. 2, net profit margin is the bottom line, the one that gets all the attention. 3, it's one of the best tools for a quick health check on a company. 4, you always have to compare margins between companies in the same industry. And 5, the big one we started with, big revenue does not automatically mean big profit.
So now, the next time you see one of those big headlines, a company hitting $1 billion in sales, you're going to know better, right? You'll know that's just the start of the story. So I'll leave you with this. What's the next number you'll be looking for?